Has it ever felt like the harder you try to lose weight, the more frustrating it actually gets? I mean, nothing happens. You hit plateaus, and yet you're eating as good as you know how to eat. You're working out, but nothing. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how I went from that exact same position to 10xing my results. You know, when I was 27 years old, I remember going to this huge pool party. Like everybody was there. It was just a place to be. And I was so uncomfortable with the way I felt in my own skin. Like I didn't have any confidence. I just was fluffy all over. I remember being so angry at how did you let yourself get like this? And then like right there, I made a decision, like I'm changing this. I'm not doing this anymore. And because I was in what I now know now as the baby stage, and I'll explain all four stages in a minute here, because there's four stages, and I'm going to break them all down because I want you to get the same breakthrough that I had. I want you to get the same results that I had. And here's the best part. I've already put in the time. I've already made the mistakes. I've already spent the money. I've already went through the training. So you don't have to do that. You get to learn from my failures. Now, notice I said stages and not phases. There's a big difference. So if you look at the kid on the top, when I was young, I used to play Super Mario. And in Super Mario, if you've ever played that game, at the end of it, there's a boss. And you have to beat the boss in order to go to the next stage. But there's not just bosses at the end. During each level, there's different obstacles and things and bad guys that are trying to kill you the whole time that you have to maneuver around. And if you don't, you die and you got to start over. Well, your fitness journey is exactly the same thing. There's going to be obstacles that get in your way. There's going to be things, whether it's your job, whether it's your wife, whether it's your kids, those are all obstacles. Now, if you look at phases, if you look at the picture on the bottom, that's a phase, thankfully. I remember that was in the 80s. In phases, you don't have to grow. You don't have to get better. Phases are just something you get past with time. You don't have to learn new skills or new strategies or even improve as a person. You just naturally get over those. So let's get into this. So the first phase is the baby phase, or excuse me, the baby stage. And in this stage, you can't even pinpoint the problem. You know you're unhappy with your life. You know something has to change, but you don't even know what it is yet at this stage. It's just like a regular baby. A regular baby, they depend on someone else. You have to change the baby. You have to feed the baby. The baby don't know where it's at. It's the same way. Also, you don't know what you're doing or how to do it. So when you go to the gym, you have no clue what to do in there, and you definitely don't know how to do it. You know you need to eat better, but it's so overwhelming thinking about proteins and carbs. Like you don't even know the difference at this stage. It's so confusing. You rely on people, things, and circumstances outside of you. You need to have, you're the kind of person, if you're at this stage, that if you don't have accountability partner, you're probably not going to do it. You're probably not going to go. Other things that happen in this stage, you use lack thoughts. So you'll say things like, I can't do this. I can't do that. So your predominant thought process when it comes to losing the weight, it's negative. And it's negative because you've had so many bad experiences in the past. You've tried before and you've failed. So your belief in yourself, it's very, very, very low, because you don't have nothing in your past to back up like, okay, yeah, I'm going to have success in this. Well, here's how you progress and get to the next stage. You got to get clarity on what you want. It's no different than a GPS. I live in Florida. If I wanted to go from Florida to Michigan, I would type the exact address that I wanted to go to, and that's where I would go. I couldn't just put Michigan in my GPS. If I just put Michigan in my GPS, I would never get there. But not only do I have to put the exact address of where I'm going, I also have to put my starting location. So you have to get very clear. You have to be real with yourself and understand where you currently are and get clear where you're going. You also got to start seeking out the missing information, like watching videos like this, listening to different podcasts, talking to people that have the results you want. You have to start gathering the knowledge that you're going to need that you're currently missing. The next stage is the teenage stage. This is a very, very dangerous stage. It's a good stage because you're starting to get results, but it's dangerous because you know just enough to be dangerous. This is like if you're at this stage, you've been going to the gym for a while, you're starting to see a little results, you're dibbling, dabbling in your eating, you're kind of getting that dialed in, but you get the mindset a lot of times that you think you know everything. And when you get the mindset you think you know everything, you shut yourself down from learning new stuff. So it's tricky sometimes getting past this stage, and a lot of times people stay in this stage for a long time. People tend to stay in this, especially men, because we have egos and our egos get in the way. We mistake I mistake cocky for confidence, right? This happens a lot at this stage. And cocky can get you in trouble. Confidence, you can go into a very sticky situation boldly and walk out the other side. At this stage, also, you have a residency on Someday Island. Some days you do it, some days you don't. Some days you feel like it, some days you don't, right? And that's not how this whole process works. You can't sometime it, because if you sometime it, you're going to sometimes get results and sometimes you're not. You also rely on contributing. You really get contributing factors and determining factors mixed up. So contributing factors would be like things outside of you that you feel controls you. Determining factors are things within you. And here's the reality. Things outside of you cannot control you. If it's raining outside, that doesn't mean you can't go to the gym, right? So nothing outside of you, right? Because if you're having a bad, your relationship's not good right now, that's an outside situation. That's a contributing factor. That's not a determining factor. A determining factor would be something like you want to build bigger biceps and you don't have arms. Well, you can't do that because you don't have arms. That's a determining factor. So what you need to do to get past this stage, you just need to make more mistakes. You need more time under tension. You need more time in the saddle. You need to do more reps, literally. Because as you do that, that's how you're going to improve and that's how you're going to grow. You also need to train your mind. You got to start becoming the person that you want to be mentally. You have to start molding your mind to be able to do things that you might necessarily not want to do, because you already know if you're on this journey, there's times you don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to get up early. You don't want to eat healthy. So you have to start callousing your mind where instead of your mind controlling you, you control your mind. The next stage is the adult stage. Most people don't get past this stage. I'm just going to be 100% real with you. They don't get past this stage. They've gotten results, but then they got a little results and they get content. So in this stage, you rely on willpower and motivation. The bad thing about both of these things is willpower, it might last a couple days, maybe a week. In motivation, it just comes and goes like the wind. So those are those aren't good things to be grounded in, because they're going to change. At this stage, though, you are clear on what you want. So you've decided how much weight you want to lose. You've decided by when you want to lose it. You're clear on what you want. So you do have the direction. So like the example I was using before, you know exactly where you're going in Michigan and you know exactly where you currently are, right? So you can at least log everything into your GPS. So that you do have down at this stage. Next, other people's opinions, and this really throws people off. Other people's opinions matter, and they shouldn't. But at this stage, what other people think still really matter to you, right? So if you're posting your pictures online, you're posting, your meals, you're, taking selfies of yourself at the gym, and then someone's going to say something smart about that. Oh, here he goes again. He's on his whole weight loss thing. Here we go again. Let's see how long this lasts. And it might be someone a lot closer to you. It might be your spouse. And that gets into your head and you end up quitting. You end up second guessing things. So at this stage, you also uh, you get results using the start and stop method. So what's the start and stop method? The start and stop method is you do really good for a while, but then something comes up and you just stop. Whether it's a holiday, a birthday, an extended weekend, you have a night out with the boys, and then you fall off for a couple days. So what you need to do to get to the next stage, the final stage, the stage where everybody wants to get, you have to determine why you want the things that you want. So you know what you want at this stage. You just don't have a strong conviction of why you want those things. It's not enough to just say you want to lose weight. Like nobody wakes up and says, I really it would be nice if I could just lose weight. Like you don't say that. There's a reason you want to lose that weight. Maybe it's to have a better sex life. Maybe it's to be able to look everybody in the face who told you couldn't do it and say, I told you so. Like you have to get emotionally attached. Like you can't get emotionally attached to a scale. Weight is just like, it's just a scale. It's an extension of a scale. There's nothing exciting about that. You need something that motivates. Maybe it's, at your job, you've been there 10 years and they've overlooked you. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to get in the absolute best shape of my life. That's one thing. But I'm also going to develop the mindset that nothing or no one can stop me. That comes along with this process. It's not just the how you look part. Another thing that you need to do to get to the next stage, you need to invest. You have to learn time. It's not about the time, right? Time is a limited resource, not money. And at this stage, usually you have those backwards. You think money is the limited resource. No, the limited resource is time. You can't get time back. You can always make more money. So you have to learn this because you're going to have to learn to invest in yourself, and not just like financially invest in yourself. You're going to have to invest time in yourself. There's investments that you're going to have to make, but those will pay off in the long run. That's why they're called investments. Stage 4 is the elder stage. And again, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to take work to get here. Not everybody gets here. Everybody wants to get here, but not everybody's going to get here. So the elder stage, it feels so, I remember like reaching this point and like nothing can stop you at this. At this point, you can control your weight. You can go down, you can go up, you can put on muscle, you can train for an ultra marathon. Like you can do anything. I remember I went from 1 month, I'm in the gym, doing bodybuilding type workouts. Like I was massive. I just got huge. And then someone said, oh, but you're not a runner. So I was like, all right, bet. And then I just made the decision I was going to run an ultra marathon. So 90 days later, not even 90 days, it was actually 62 days later, I'm running an ultra marathon, 100-mile race. Up until that point, I'd only ran 5 miles. It was the longest I ran. But I had developed a mindset where nothing could stop me. So in this, you learn to build in the present to ensure your future. So you grind today so you make sure you're rewarded later. So you're not stuck on that instant gratification. You're not stuck on that immediate gratification of getting that dopamine. You also understand at this stage, it's bigger than you. You're doing it for your kids. You're doing it for your wife. You understand that it's not fair to them to show up fat and sloppy. You understand that you want to be the dad that when you drop your kids off at basketball practice, the other kids are like, oh, snap. Look at his dad. That's like you owe it to them. So you start to understand you're not just now doing it for selfish reasons. You're doing it for things outside of you. At this stage, also, it's discipline over motivation. You could care less about motivation. You don't need it. If it's there, cool. But it's not something that you need. You habitually, you take actions that move the needle. Habitual actions mean on a daily basis, you're taking actions that are moving you in a direction that you want to go, and you don't miss. Like I didn't miss. I don't miss to this day. I'm 41 years old. I get up at 3 a.m. It's 8:46 now. I'm probably not going to get to bed for another hour. I've been going to bed every single night at 10:30, but it don't matter. I'm still getting up at 3 o'clock a.m. Why? Because I know what's on the line. My family's dependent on me. My kids are dependent on me. At this stage, also, you understand patience. You understand patience. You understand you can have whatever you want. It may take some time, but as long as you put in the work, and God willing, you have the time, you understand, like I understand I can achieve whatever I want, and you can do the same thing. So what do you need to progress to the next level? Well, at this level, you become a mentor, you become a coach. It's your responsibility to help someone else. And yes, I said your responsibility. Each of us need all of us, and all of us need each of us. So just like you got to this stage, there's other people that are waiting. They're waiting on something. Like when you get to this stage, there's people waiting. They need your knowledge. Like your old version of you needs you. When you were at that baby stage, like, do you understand when you're at the elder stage? Because you've been through all this stage. You've been through the baby stage, the teenage stage, the adult stage. Those are easy to you now. The same thing is when I was talking about playing the video game. Once you beat the levels, it's easy. What once was hard is now it's so simple. You can tell someone who's at a baby stage, oh, just do this, this, and this. You can tell someone who's in a teenage stage, just do this, this, and this. This is why it's so easy for me to get my guys' results. Not because I'm like this almighty special person. I've just went through the process. Once you go through the process and understand the process, it's easy. And that's why I can confidently tell you, if you apply what I told you in this video, you don't have to wait the years that I did. You can make the change in 90 days. I have clients all the time go from baby stage to elder stage. It doesn't take that time. Now, can you lose 60 pounds in 90 days? No. Can you lose 30 pounds in 90 days? Yeah. Maybe. But here's what you do have. You have all the skill sets you need. You have the blueprint that you need. The only thing you're waiting on is time. So whatever your result is, I don't know how long it's going to take you to get there. But here's what I can tell you. When you know everything from where you are currently to the elder stage, you will get wherever you want to go. It's just a matter of time. And again, I'm a man of God. And again, I ain't make this up. He even says it. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it's a sin for them. So it's your responsibility once you hit the elder stage to do things just like I'm doing. Provide value for other people, because if people didn't pour into me, I would have never got to the stage that I'm at and be able to impact and help so many people that I did. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.